friend's house. He's a great speaker. His background is IT, and also he's a very good cricket player. So we are welcoming him. He's going to do the lecture now. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So on behalf of Iskcon, I would like to again welcome each one of you to this Sunday program. Welcome to the home of Radha Kichor Gopinath, Gauranga, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani, and Srila Prabhupada. As Prabhu mentioned, today is a very auspicious day. Today is January 15, 2023, and it's Makara Sankranti. What does that mean? So the sun is moving towards the northern hemisphere. So Makara is a Rasi, and sun is moving towards the northern hemisphere, and it is also referred to as Uttarayana. And we know that Bhishma left his body on this day, not before. He chanted the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, which is referred to as Vishnu Sahasranam. So not that he invented the names. Lord is unlimited, eternal. So these names are eternal, but you can say these are 1,000 top names of Lord Krishna. Any name of Lord Krishna is very, very powerful, but he chanted 1,000 names of Lord Krishna from the bed of arrows, and then he left his body at the start of Uttarayana. And it is also the advent of Mother Ganga, Ganges, to this material world as well. So it is said to be today. So it's a very auspicious day, and all of you are here. So good to see all of you again. We warmly welcome you. Thank you for giving us a valuable time through your association. So as we usually do, we will start off by singing Jai Radha Madhava, which is a song that is penned by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Jai Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihare. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamayin Dadati Svapatamakam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kapatakalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam Sha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatata Satarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pamukam Gayate Kripatamam Shri Guru Dinatarana Vancha Kalpataru Yascha Kripasindu Devacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेमकृताय कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतीसे नमः नमो ब्राह्मणे देवाय गो ब्राह्मणेकाय च जगदीताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद everyone together हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेम. So in any criminal justice system or society in any country including Canada, the role of witness and the evidence that the witnesses provide makes or breaks the case. So you would have seen many of the court cases where multiple witnesses provide their evidence. So it could be a doctor who will provide a DNA evidence, then there will be a police officer who will come and provide evidence from a body vest cam or a dash cam camera. And also there could be some evidence that is provided by CCTV, closed circuit television, that is live 24/7, 365 days coverage. So from there they can show some evidence that can make or break that particular case. So the role of the witness and the evidences that are provided by the witnesses are very, very critical. So even in our temple you can see there are many cameras that are there. They are the witness that will provide evidence in case if there is any vandalism or theft. So that's how evidence is provided. So in that context, because I'm not sure whether you heard, the topic that was chosen is infallible spiritual detectives or infallible spiritual witnesses. So that's the topic that we've chosen today. It's a very beautiful topic and it's an eye-opener for all of us. After the deployment of all the CCTVs, it is said that the crime rate is reduced by 50%. So it's always good to know who are all these spiritual witnesses and can we do something to get them on our side, or they are infallible and they are very neutral. So I would like to speak on a fascinating verse from the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is in the 1st chapter. The verse number is 42. So as and when it's possible, I'll give you the verse number so that you can make a note of it. These are wonderful verses that you can go home and take a look at the books, and then you can even memorize them or learn the purports that is Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada has painstakingly put together from all the scriptures. So it's a one-stop shopping if you read the purport of these wonderful verses. So this particular verse is 6.142. Suryo Agnikam Marudeva Somaha Sandhyayanitasaha Kampuhu Swayam Dharma Ite Eyate Dayasya Sakshinaha. So this is the translation of this particular verse. This is open secret. It tells us who the 12 witnesses are for every thought, word and deed that we think or do, which is recorded as evidence. Okay, so you, me, whatever we do is recorded by these 12 witnesses. And who are they? Suryo, Agni, Kam, Maru, Deva. So Suryo is sun. Agni is fire. Kam is the sky. Suryo, Agni, Kam, Maru is the air. Suryo, Agni, Kam, Maru, Deva, the 330 million devatas. Then it is Suryo, Agni, Kam, Maru, Deva, Soma. Soma is the moon. Soma, then evening, Sandhya. Sandhya is the evening. And Agni is morning and night. And then you have Disa. Disa is the direction. So it's not like north, south, east and west. Oh, that's the verse. Okay. Yeah. So that's the verse there. Yeah. Suryo Agni Kam Maru Deva Soma Kamku Swayam Dharmeti Deyate is there. Sakshina. So you have directions. Directions are not just north, south, east and west. So if I face northwest, then there is no witness? No. There are 10 directions. North, south, east, west, in between, north, east, south, east, etc. Then up and below. So we can't do anything without the directions being a witness to what we do. So then we have who is of water, how can we do anything without the water? 70% of our body is water, 70% of our brain is water, 70% of earth is water, right? So and there is water vapor everywhere. And the last, penultimate one is the earth or land, and the last one, 12th, is a super soul or even Dharmaraj or Yamana. So there are 12 witnesses for every action, thought, word and deed that we do. So always smile, because we are always on the camera. We can't escape anywhere. It's not like we can do something without the knowledge of these 12, right? So we'll get into that a little later. It's the authenticity of the verse, right? So somebody may ask, okay, where is this verse from? As you heard, this is from the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are 12 cantos, and it was spoken in 7 days. So you can say in 3.5 days, this wonderful verse was spoken, because the 6th canto, halfway, and it was overall, it is spoken by a great personality, Sukdev Goswami, to Maharaj Parikshit, who is about to die in 7 days. And within that, it is spoken by Yamadutas. So 3 Yamadutas to 4 Vishnu Dutas. So Dutas means it's messenger or envoy. So these are the 3 messengers of justice and death who have come to take a sinful personality away, and they were talking to Vishnu Dutas, the messengers of God. So that's the context of who spoke in this Srimad Bhagavatam. So the authenticity is there, and it's penned down. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam is penned down by Lord Krishna himself. If you wonder, Krishna wrote, penned down this. Yes, in the form of Vyasadeva, who is the 17th incarnation of Lord Krishna. So there is no mistake, it is spotless. So that's the authenticity of this verse, where there are 12 witnesses for every action, thought, word and deed. So with that context, I would like to go a little bit into the actual pastime to understand the context of this, right? So there is this, wonderful Brahmin. He's married, he follows the regulative principles and much more. He studied the Vedas, he takes care of his parents, and one day he is able to see something that he should not be able to see. A person of not a good reputation, a lady who's not of good character, you know what it is, and he eventually gets to marry her. And fast forwarding this, because this is in the 6th canto, chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 3, there are 152 verses in total. Okay, so I'm going to condense this and give you the essence so that you can go home and read this in detail. So here, he was such a great person, and after he got married to this person, or he got 10 children with this lady, and then to maintain that family, he had to perform all sinful activities. So he did not take care of his official wife that he got married, his parents, no more regulative principles, nothing. So everything went down the drain, and he indulged in all sorts of sinful activities. And when he was 88 years old, most of you know this pastor. The great thing about these pastimes from our scriptures is that there are new insights and new realization when we hear these pastimes again and again. And repetition causes retention. So there is no harm in hearing these pastimes. And I'm condensing this. So when he was 88 years old, it's time to die, and all his, all the witnesses. I'll get into the witnesses. So he's about to die. These messengers of death have taken him, and they look so dangerous, or very crooked. They had crooked body and very scary face. And at that point in time, by luck or whatever you may call it, he had named his 10th son Narayana. When he was 88 years old, when these scary personalities came, he shouted the name of Lord Narayana, not Lord Narayana. He shouted the name Narayana, called for his son so that he can run away with, so that the son doesn't have to get caught with these scary people. And when he did that, instantaneously 4 Vishnu Dutas came. It's not like they had to take a flight and come after many hours. And so they were there instantaneously. And the conversation was, they asked, the 4 Vishnu Dutas asked the Yamadutas, why are you taking him? And that's the time when this particular verse, yes, as you can see, there are 3 Yamadutas and 4 Vishnu Dutas. So there's always hope for us. There are more Vishnu Dutas than Yamadutas. So that's the context of this verse. And when Vishnu Dutas asked, why are you taking him? And then the Yamadutas are saying, we have enough evidence from these 12 witnesses for all the sinful activities that this person has done. So we are taking him to the hellish planets for punishment. And then the 4 Vishnu Dutas said, sorry, because he chanted the name of Lord Krishna, in this case is Narayana. Krishna's got unlimited names. Krishna is unlimited. One of the names is Narayana. Because he's chanted, all the sinful activities have expunged, so there is no more sinful activities. Ajnanada Bhagyana Uttama Slokanama Yat Sankirtitam Agam Pumso Dahe Dedo Etanaha. Just like fire burns dry grass to ashes, so whether we knowingly or unknowingly chant the holy names of the Lord, all the sinful reactions are vanquished. Right? So that's what the Vishnu Duta said, and they gave him a second chance. So it's not like from earth, he had to go to hellish planets for suffering, but he had to stay here, and then he got a second chance. He went to Haridwar, he went to Vishnu temple and performed wonderful devotional service, including the 9 forms of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtana, Vishnu Sarvam, Padasevana, Varchana, Mandaram, Dasam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedam, including hearing and chanting with so much of faith and veneration. Eventually, he was able to go back home, back to God. The same 4 personalities that you see with 4 arms each, they came in a spiritual aeroplane and they took him. So this is the beautiful pastime that is there in the 6th canto. Where did they take him? They took him to Vaikuntha Loka. And it is said, for those of you who are very familiar with Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, again make note of these verses, these are fabulous verses, where Krishna says, Ah Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravati Nojuna Mamupeti Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. So here, from the highest planet down to the lowest planet in the material world, all are places of miseries where there are repeated births and deaths. But one who comes to my abode, which is Vaikuntha, then there is no more miseries or suffering. So that's where he went back home, back to God. So it's a fascinating pastime. And I wanted to go through the whole pastime because there is a benediction that is there awaiting all of us just for reading or hearing this entire pastime. But we'll get there. But there are many, many lessons to be learned in this beautiful pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam. One is, you can say the whole of Iskcon or any society is based on this pastime because the importance of chanting the holy name. How many times we chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra today from the time all of you came? So this whole of chanting the Lord's name is coming from this pastime. This Srimad Bhagavatam was spent over 5,000 years ago, but this is an ancient pastime. And you see, the names of many, even they don't have to be disciples or devotees. Their names are either God's name, a saint's name, a river's name. In India, when you go, many of the baby girls are named as Yamuna, Ganga, Saraswati, Parvati. Why? Because you call them, then good things happen, right? So similarly, there Prabhu mentioned about cricket, Lakshman, Sivarama, Krishna. That's the name of a cricket player, right? For those of you who follow, there is VVS Lakshman, one who played really well at some point, right? So VVS Lakshman. So when you keep saying, yeah, Lakshman scored a century, Lakshman. So good things happen inadvertently, right? And even in other cultures, right? So I go to Mexico very often. Mexico, a lot of girls are named as Cecilia, patron saint of music, right? So Cecilia, Abraham, Jesus, pronunciation is Jesus, but it is spelled as J-E-S-U-S. Who's that? Jesus, right? So Peter, Paul, these are all saints. So everywhere you see your friends are also got names that have this wonderful vibration of Lord or Lord's expansions or saints and sages as well. So that's the foundation of the whole, the names that are given to sons and daughters. And even in Iskcon, when somebody is initiated, they get a spiritual name, and absolutely it's God's name or saint's name, sage's name, avatar's name, etc. Even though the birth name could be different, it's now modified into this, not in a passport, but that's what everybody calls, so this great vibration. The second beautiful lessons to be learned from this pastime is association. As you know, with bad association, he went down a bit for a while, but then because of the good association of this Vishnu Dutas and what he heard, it was a live commentary. Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas, they were talking back and forth, and here the sinful personality, Ajamil, is hearing everything, And we get to read all this by the mercy of Vyasadeva, and because of his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Even if Vyasadeva had written these books, it would not have come to the West. But by the mercy of his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we are able to access these wonderful, wonderful conversation and this particular verse as well. And one of the lessons to be learned is the intensity of chanting, right? So as you know, he was supposed to go here, but then because he chanted the name Narayana, he was given a second chance. Very practical pastime, right? We also make mistakes, we also need second chance. So this is a second chance that was given, and because of the intensity of the chanting and devotional service that he performed in Haridwar, in the holy place, then he went back to the Vishnu Loka. So it was a springboard to the spiritual world because of the intensity of chanting, right? So it's almost like a treadmill, right? Treadmill is there. If I walk at slow pace, the impact will be slow. But if it is at an angle of inclination of 10 and then 20, 30, whatever kilometers an hour, then the impact is more. So the holy name is holy name, but how we chant with that intensity makes all the difference. So we know other pastimes as well. In 8th canto, I just wanted to jog your memory before we get back into the verse. So the 8th canto, there is this beautiful pastime of Gajendra, an elephant. In the previous life, he was Indradumna, the king. And as a king, he was chanting all the same verses that we read from the 8th canto, where this crocodile, he was cursed to become a crocodile, he was cursed to become an elephant, and then there was King Ubu who was cursed to become a crocodile, and this crocodile was catching his feet, and then he was about to die. Same mantras that he had memorized and chanted many, many times in the previous life as a king, he chanted with more intensity and the helpless condition, and the Lord came and then saved him, and he was given Saupyam, the same forearm form as you saw there, and he went back to God. The same intensity, okay? The same prayers, but with more intensity. That's the difference. Same prayers, but more intensity, and that made all the difference. So even Draupadi, as we know, when she was distraught, she tried her level best, but then when she gave up, and then with full intensity and helplessness, she chanted Krishna's name, and Krishna incarnated as unlimited sari as well. So this is a beautiful, beautiful pastime. And as I said, there is a benediction. So here the benediction, it says in the very end of the 3rd chapter of the 6th canto, anybody who reads this pastime, he gave you the condensed form, the sinful reactions are vanquished, and whenever we have to die, we go back home, back to God. So again, expect great results. These are, the buck stops there in the scripture. So this is a benediction that is given to all of us. And the concluding part of this pastime is Sukhdev Goswami says, Tasmat Sankirtanam Vishnu Jagat Mangala Mangasam. There is nothing more auspicious than chanting the holy names of the Lord, because it can uproot even the greatest of all sins. So that's the beautiful conclusion of this particular pastime about Ajamil and how he was saved when he chanted, even though not with the intention of calling out the Lord, but he called out the Son. But luckily, based on his past good karma that he did, he was able to remember to name his 10th son as Narayana. Right? So it is said, Neha Vikramanasosti, 2.40, Neha Vikramanasosti, Pratyavayana Vidite. Even a little bit of advancement in spiritual life, it will save us from the greatest danger. So Prabhupada says, if we finish this life with 20%, then in the next life we'll start off with 21%. It's not like we are a PhD this year, this life, and next year we have to still start with A, B, C, D, right? So it doesn't matter whether we are a doctor, engineer in the next life, even a millionaire, somebody dies next life, he has to start with $0, right? So this particular verse, where there are 12 witnesses for every thought, word, and deed that we do. We are used to this, right? As we heard a little bit earlier, the police, they have this bodiless camera, they have this dashboard camera. Even on 407, when you go to 407, you don't even know that there is a camera that is taking a picture of your number plate. $32, sir, you came from Wellington all the way to Malta. Comes after 2 weeks, right? So that's the cameras, the witness, and the evidence is coming to you by mail. And somebody can have an alibi in a criminal case. Also, I was not in this Toronto at all. I was in Montreal. then they will find out from the cell phone, the pinging of the cell phone to the cell phone tower. No, you were 2 kilometers from the zone. So that's an evidence that is provided by the witness as well, right? And then in your home, you have, what is that? A video camera, a ring video camera. Most of you have that, right? So you will get to see everything that is being recorded there. That's the evidence that is provided. In the airport, there is X-ray, right? So you put your bag. I mean, about the gun being in the check-in bag. You try to put a bottle of water and try to get through the security. They will catch you, take you to the side, open everything and check. So that's the witness and the evidence that is provided by that particular witness as well. So everywhere, as we said, in Toronto Temple, you see that. In restaurants, you see this. So that is the witness and the evidence that is provided for everyone. Even the airport we heard, and today it's unfortunate, right? So today, I don't know whether you heard, there's this AP Airlines that crashed in Pokhara. Right? 3 years ago, I was in the same plane, but the other way from Pokhara, I was going to Kathmandu. So this is coming back from Ont.Canada. Ont.Canada is a beautiful temple in Nepal. So you come from Ont.Canada to Jamsham. From Jamsham, you take another plane, come down to Pokhara to Kathmandu. Today, that plane crashed. Right? Unfortunately, about 72 or 82 people died. Very unfortunate. So now they will look for this black box, because that is the evidence that is there. What had happened? What was the conversation? Cockpit voice recorder. So the witness and the evidence is very, very critical. Even in sports, right? So, if you were watching some sports, if it's NFL, was that a touchdown? Both his feet were there when he caught the ball. So they go to the TV umpire, and then you get the evidence from the TV camera. Cricket today, was Karunarathne run out by the throw of this fast bowler? Umpires may not know, but they go to the evidence, TV umpire, and then you get to see it's out or not. So we're very much used to this witness and the evidence that are provided by them. So even if your car is lost nowadays, there is GPS tracking, cell phone, lost iPad, etc. So that's again, evidence that is provided. So when you think about it, we can say, yeah, and this 12 witnesses are the ones that allows this machine of karma to continue. Machine of karma to continue. Cause and effect, right? So cause and effect and the punishment or the reward that is given is because of these witnesses and the evidence that they have. We can say, sorry, I don't believe this law of karma. This law of karma it's from India. It's only for Indians. Nature's law is universal. We can say we don't believe in law of gravitation, because law of gravitation was always there, and Isaac Newton is from United Kingdom. He found that, sir, law of gravitation only applies to UK, because Isaac Newton was there. Try jumping from 10th floor down in Canada or anywhere else, you will fall down and break your leg and much more, right? So universal laws, whether we believe it or not, is universal. It's not whether it was discovered by somebody. It was not that he found that it was there. So these 12 witnesses, what are they looking? Who are they looking at? They're looking at everybody, man, women, rich, poor, all countries. And what are they looking at? They're looking at acts of commission and acts of omission. So commission means what we're not supposed to do, whether we did it, and acts of omission is what we're supposed to do, but we didn't do. The good thing is, what they're tracking is not only the sinful activities, but also the good things, okay? So when we do something great, we don't need to say, I gave this $100 to this organization, please take a framed picture, put it on the wall. We don't need to do that, because everything is getting recorded, good or bad is getting recorded here. So how are you supposed to know what is good and what is bad? That's a legitimate question, right? How can your recording be very good? That's the thing. 12 of these witnesses are continuously recording all the things that we do, good and bad. So how can this recording be good rather than bad? That's a legitimate question, right? So again, because of the scriptures, we can't do something because somebody tells me to do this because it's good, or something is good or bad. We go with the scriptures. Right? So we have this wonderful Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the whole ocean of Vedas are there. But just with this, I'm just going to, just pick some of them, what to do and what not to do. Bhagavad Gita, what to do, right? So that the recording by these witnesses are good. Bhagavad Gita 3.13, anybody remembers? Yajna Shistasinas Santo, Uchante Sarva Kilvisha. So Krishna says, if you cook the food, offer the food as sacrifice to the Lord, and then honor the prasadam, as all of you are going to do with the wonderful prasadam that is being lined up in 10-15 minutes, then you are eradicating the sins. But if you cook the food and eat for yourself, you are verily eating sin. So what to do, what not to do is that. Bhagavad Gita 5.10. This is a practical verse for all of us, because most of you I see are grahasthas, right? You all work. Krishna says, work with no attachment and offer the results to me, then no sinful reactions come on to you. It will be like a water on a lotus leaf, right? So 5.10. I can pick some more off the top of my 8.7. Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Arjuna, think of me, but continue to fight. So the message for all of us is, if you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, it does not matter. Continue to do your job, which is karma yoga. But at the same time, think of me and continue to do your job, right? 9.27, yat karoshi yadashnashi yat chahoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kauteya tat purusha madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, offer it to me. So all these verses are beautiful. All these are coming up. Whosoever is doing this, thank you very much. So that's 9.27, so you can also verify. I'm not just throwing some numbers, right? So I have to be very careful. That's 9.27, right? Yat karoshi yadashnashi yat joshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kauteya tat purusha madarpanam. This is a very beautiful verse, because I studied in a Christian school and we had to read a lot of Bible verses. So there is in Colossians, Corinthians, similar verses are there. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, offer it to the Lord. Right? Similar to 9.27. But my favorite is 17.15. Let's see if Prabhu can pick up 17.15, right? So I'm just going to give the translation. That is the austerity of speech, where Krishna says austerity of speech means speaking that is, austerity of, which is truthful, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating others, and of course reading the scriptures as well, right? So what to do, what not to do. So if you follow what to do from the scriptures, then the recording by these 12 great personalities are good. But Krishna also, the opposite of what to do is what not to do. But specifically Krishna also says what not to do. There are many examples. I'm just keeping an eye on the time. But what not to do is also there. 4.40. Agnyashastra Danas Samshayatma Vinashiti. 4.40 says, do not doubt the revealed scriptures. If you doubt the revealed scriptures, you're not progressing anywhere. Then Krishna, two more. I can think 16.21 and 16.23, right? The three gates leading to hell. Lust, anger, and greed. So when we indulge in the lust, anger, and greed, the recording is very bad. We can't do anything. 16.23, Krishna says, do not, if you don't follow the revealed scriptures, again we have a problem. Right? So these are what to do, what not to do, etc. So, in coming back to this particular verse, I'm going to wrap this up because there are 2 or 3 more minutes only to end this class. This is a vast subject, but we just wanted to introduce this beautiful 6.1.4 to 6.1.42 verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that there are 12 witnesses. So the 12 witnesses are again Suryo, Karun, Sun, the first. 93 million miles away. Sun is 93 million miles away, and it's 1 million times the size of Earth, right? So which means you can put 1 million Earth into the Sun. You can't because it's too hot, but the size is humongous. We are alive because of the Sun. If the Earth was a little bit further away, we are frozen to death. If the Earth was a little bit closer, we are burned to death. So we always have the presence of Sun, and you already seen, radar, camera, they track the terrorists through satellite, etc. So distance is never a problem. So Sun is always a witness. So you go inside the house as well and do something bad, Sun is always a witness, right? So just like X-ray can go through your check-in bag and check your bottled water there. So Surya Agni, fire is outside, cooking, everywhere. The heat, the byproduct of Sun is, fire, and the heat is also there in a country like Canada. And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, I think it was 15:14 if I'm not mistaken, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva, I am the fire of digestion in everybody's stomach. I mean, we sit down, it's warm, right? Like there's body temperature. How is the body temperature coming? It's because there is fire inside our body as well. So Surya becomes sky. Anything under the sky is where we are. Even if you go to submarine under the water and do something sinful, still it is God because He is the witness, because it's all under the sky. Surya become malu, air. We breathe the air, oxygen. So it's outside us, inside us. How can that not be a witness? So always watching what we do. Surya become malu, Deva. 330 million devatas are there. One devata to close your eyes and open your eyes. One devata for you to taste the wonderful prasadam that we are going to have. That is also one devata. So they are always there, eye in the sky. They are looking at everything that we do. We cannot be away from them. Then we have evening. Evening you can say 6 to 9, and the night is 9 to 6, and then 6 to 9. So there is 24/7 coverage, whatever we do. The evening, day and night takes care. Direction, we already talked about 10 directions. Water, we already said 70% of our body is water. So whatever we do, water is always inside us, being a witness. Outside 70%, earth is covered with 70% of water. Brain is 70% water. Land, even when we are flying in an aeroplane, what if I fly in the airplane? Of course there is air and sun and moon as evidence or witness, but also the aeroplane that is made, how it is made of, is made from metals from the earth. So again, there is this earth factor there, and also the land is there. Super soul. Sarvasya chaham vidishanti vishno madhyasmriti jnana apohanam cha. So Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart as a super soul, witnessing the activities of everyone. So this is a nice condensed, we packed in a lot into this particular session, but we wanted this to be a very general class in that sense. All of us understand, as we heard, when there are more CCTVs, then the crime rate is reduced. Not to say that any one of us are doing bad things, but we need to know that whatever thought, word and deed that we are thinking or doing, it is being recorded by these 12 witnesses, and there is evidence that is collected. But in conclusion, in the past time that we read, even though the witnesses provided the evidence and he was supposed to be taken to the hellish planets for punishment, he did not have to go through because he chanted the holy names of the Lord. So what we are going to do is we will chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra in conclusion, sincerely, for any of the mistakes or sinful actions that we may have committed knowingly or unknowingly in the recent past, long time back, etc. does not matter. So we'll chant one holy name because it is said, Jnana Dadavagyana Uttama Slokanamaya Sankirtatam Argam Pumso Dahe Dedo Yatanalaha. So just like forest fire burns dry grass to ashes, so holy names, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, will destroy all the sinful reactions that may be there in a dormant state. So we'll chant this holy name, so we wipe out the past very nicely, and then we take on to devotional service with a clean slate. So on account of 3, we'll chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra all together very loudly, not only for yourself, but also for the departed souls, as we just heard, pilgrims, most of them are pilgrims on the, they died in this plane crash, and many of them are still suffering from COVID and other adhyatmika, adhibhautika and adhidevika miseries as well. So we'll sincerely chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra on count of 3 for everybody. 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu, for your wonderful speech and accepting our invitation in your busy schedules. Prabhu travels a lot due to his profession. His IT profession is always travel. It's hard to follow him.